CGT Physics from KG number 1 D1. Today I am going on discuss moving coil galvanometer with you. This topic, moving coil galvanometer, is very important for board examination. One long question of 5 marks always asked from this topic, moving coil galvanometer. In this topic, we learn what is galvanometer, what is its working principle, what is its theory and its sensitivity, and how a galvanometer can be converted into ammeter and voltmeter. So let us start. At first, what is galvanometer? So galvanometer is a device which detects current in a electric field. This means by moving coil galvanometer we can determine that a circuit has current or not. So this is device which detects current in a circuit. Next is your on which rule moving coil galvanometer work on. So moving coil galvanometer, the working of moving coil galvanometer based on the fact that when a current carrying coil placed in the magnetic field, it experiences a torque, which is given by tau is equal to NIAB sin theta, where n number of turn in the current carrying coil, I current in the current carrying coil, A area of coil, B magnitude of magnetic field, and theta is the angle between magnetic field and area vector of the coil. So this is principle, means when a current carrying coil is placed in the magnetic field, then it experiences torque. Tau equal to NIAB sin theta, and this torque is directly proportional to current. So this is principle. When a current carrying coil is placed in the magnetic field, it experiences torque. Again, next is your construction. So this is your moving coil galvanometer. A moving coil galvanometer consists of a rectangular coil of fine insulated copper wire wound on a rectangular light aluminum frame. This coil is also consists of a soft iron cylinder in its core, which is called soft iron core. The motion of this coil is controlled by fast 4 branch strip and air light spring. These strips and air light spring also control the motion of the coil and serve as a current. When we connected the terminal T1 and T2 of the coil through a circuit, then current is passed this time T1 this this type. So it is also survey current carrying lead. This coil is placed between two strong cylindrical magnetic pole of permanent magnet. So these are magnetic poles which are cylindrical, not plane. So these cylindrical magnetic poles and soft iron core which is cylindrical are made radial magnetic field, which is shown in this figure. So this is your N core, S core which is cylindrical, and this is your top of soft iron core which is cylinder. So its top is circular, and these are turns of the coil, and this is here like spring, and the connector is connected to the coil which reflect on a suitable scale. So this is your construction. This is coil, rectangle coil of insulated copper wire. This is here like spring control the motion of the coil and serve as a current lead. Soft iron core which is cylinder, and N and S are cylindrical N and S core which produce radial magnetic field. Hence question is arises, why we not use plain pole? If we use plain pole, so hence magnetic field produced between N and S pole is uniform. But when we use cylindrical pole, then magnetic field becomes radial. And in this radial magnetic field, when coil rotates, suppose at a time coil is in this direction. So this is surface of coil whose top is this, and towards this is magnetic field in this position. Suppose this coil is rotated in this condition. So this is coil and this is magnetic direction of magnetic field in this situation. So in the radial magnetic field, coil always remains parallel to the field. Therefore, the area vector of this coil makes 90-degree angle with the magnetic field. Means theta becomes 90 degree. If theta becomes 90 degree, then torque on the coil becomes NIAB sin 90, and sin 90 is equal to 1, which is the maximum value of the sin theta. So in the radial magnetic field, coil always experience maximum torque. So this is the purpose of radial magnetic field. So this is your construction. Next is your theory. So this is theory. When a current carrying coil is placed in the magnetic field, then it experiences a torque. You already know, and this torque is given by NIAB sin theta, where N is number of turns, I is current, A area, B magnetic field, and theta is the angle between current and area vector of the coil. But hence magnetic field is radial. So for radial magnetic field, the coil always remains parallel to the magnetic field. Therefore, its area vector makes angle 90 degree with the magnetic field. So theta becomes 90 degree and theta becomes 90 degree. So your torque your torque. So your torque tau NIAB sin theta and theta is your 90 degree. So tau becomes NIAB, which is maximum torque. Due to this torque, when coil is rotated, so this is, suppose, imagine this is your rectangle coil and it is suspended by a string, and this torque is acting on it when, due to this torque, coil is rotated. The wire or string which is connected to the coil start twisting. Okay, when coil rotate, then wire and hair like string of the moving coil galvanometer start twisting and develop a restoring force. Restoring torque. Restoring torque which oppose this deflecting torque. For example, imagine this is your rectangle coil and it is suspended by a string. If we rotate this coil in this direction, then string attached to it is twisted, and when we release the coil, this coil again rotate in the opposite direction to attain its initial position. So this is restoring torque. This restoring torque is increasing on rotating coil. Imagine this is coil and it is suspended by a string. If we rotate this coil continuously, so at a stage it is difficult to its rotate, means string or wire develop restoring torque which oppose the rotation. So the restoring torque is increasing on rotation of the coil, means if we deflect coil or rotate coil, so restoring torque is increasing or directly proportional to its deflection. So hence we get restoring torque tau directly proportional to angle of deflection, or tau restoring is equal to k theta, where k is the constant and it is called torsion constant of the string or wire. So hence it is clear, then this is deflecting torque and this is restoring torque. This deflecting torque, okay student, so in equilibrium position the deflecting torque becomes equal to restoring torque. That is, deflecting torque equal to restoring torque. So the value of deflecting torque is NIAB and value of restoring torque is k theta. So NIAB equal to k theta. Therefore I equal to, we transfer NIAB, so I becomes k divided by NAB whole multiply into theta. R I equal to G theta, where G equal to K divided by NAB. It is called galvanometer constant or figure of merit. Thus, if G is your constant, so this expression can also be written as I proportional to theta. Hence G constant. When V a constant, when we remove proportional sign, and hence V a proportional sign, so G is removed. So this expression also can be written as I proportional to theta. Means if a coil heavy current, then it deflects. So to check the current in a circuit, we connect the coil in the circuit, and if current is present in the circuit, then this coil is deflected. In this way, we can detect current in the circuit. So this is your moving coil galvanometer theory. Next, sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer. Sensitivity of the moving coil galvanometer means if we pass a small current or apply potential difference across the galvanometer, and galvanometer suffers more deflection, so it is called sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer. The sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer are two types. First type is your current sensitivity. So what is current sensitivity? The deflection produced in the moving coil galvanometer when unit current is passed through it is called current sensitivity, and it is denoted by IS, current sensitivity, and given by IS equal to theta divided by I. But from above description, we have I is equal to K upon N A B into theta. So if we put the value of I in the above expression, then we get current sensitivity I S is equal to, this is I and this is the value of I. So if we place the value of I in this expression, so NAB goes in the numerator and K becomes denominator, and theta is cancelled. So we get current sensitivity equal to N A B divided by K. So this is your current sensitivity, and it is clear that current sensitivity is dependent on the number of turns of the coil, area of the coil, strength of magnetic field, and torsion constant. This means current sensitivity of the moving coil galvanometer can be increased by increasing number of turns of the coil, area of coil, strength of magnetic field, or the less torsion constant. Torsion constant of the string and wire is less, then current sensitivity becomes more. So this is your current sensitivity. Next is your voltage sensitivity. So what is voltage sensitivity? Voltage sensitivity means if unit potential difference is applied across the moving coil galvanometer, then deflection produced in the galvanometer is called voltage sensitivity. It is denoted by Vs and given by Vs is equal to theta divided by V. It is also calculated as theta divided by V means I into R. But again I is equal to K divided by N A B into theta. So if we put the value of I from this equation into this equation, then we get voltage sensitivity Vs is equal to, so when we place the value of I in this place, so this becomes NAB divided by K and theta are cancelled. So this will be NAB divided by K into R. So this is your voltage sensitivity. But what is this? NAB divided by K. This is your current sensitivity. So this expression also calculated as IS divided by R. So voltage sensitivity is equal to current sensitivity divided by R. So this is the relation between voltage sensitivity and current sensitivity. Voltage sensitivity equal to current sensitivity divided by R. R means resistance of coil. So this is voltage sensitivity. Now we discuss the conversion of galvanometer into ammeter and voltmeter. So at first, how we convert a galvanometer into ammeter? So conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. A galvanometer can be converted into ammeter by connecting a low resistance parallel to it, as shown in the figure. So suppose this is your galvanometer and it is connected to a low resistance wire parallel to it. So it becomes an ammeter. This combination is called ammeter. This is your ammeter. When it is connected to a circuit, so suppose there is your current I from the circuit. This current comes to this point, and this current is divided into two parts. Suppose in this part current is IG, current through the galvanometer. So current in this branch, it becomes I minus IG, and this IG and I minus IG in this point becomes again I. This becomes I. So in this way current is flows in the ammeter. Hence suppose G is the resistance of galvanometer and Ig is the current through the galvanometer, which gives full scale deflection. And suppose we want to convert galvanometer into ammeter of range I to G. So here we see galvanometer and low resistance wire are connected to parallel to each other. Therefore, potential difference across galvanometer and potential difference across low resistance, which is also called shunt resistance, and its resistance is denoted by S. So potential difference of G and potential difference of S are equal because they are connected in parallel. So potential difference of galvanometer, it can be determined by Ohm's law, V equal to I. So current through the galvanometer is Ig and resistance is G. So this becomes I G into G. It is potential difference across galvanometer. It will be equal to potential difference across low resistance wire or shunt. It is also determined by Ohm's law, I into R. So current in shunt is I minus Ig, and resistance is your S. So what is the value of S? So S becomes S equal to Ig divided by I minus Ig into capital. So by this formula we can determine the value of low resistance or shunt, where G resistance of galvanometer, Ig current through the galvanometer, which gives a full scale deflection, and this I is range of ammeter which is designed. So by this formula we determine shunt and resistance, and this resistance is connected parallel to the galvanometer. So we get a ammeter of range I to G. Now conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter. So a galvanometer can be converted into voltmeter by connecting a high resistance with series to the galvanometer. Just उसका opposite as shown in the figure. So this is your galvanometer. This is your galvanometer and a high resistance is connected with series. So this combination becomes voltmeter. and this voltmeter is connected to parallel to the instrument whose voltage is determined. So suppose it is connected to a circuit and current through the galvanometer is Ig. So high resistance wire is also connected in the series. So current through the high resistance wire is also Ig. So what is the equivalent resistance of voltmeter or this combination? So this is series combination. So equivalent resistance becomes G plus R. It is equivalent resistance of the circuit. So hence G is again resistance of galvanometer and R is high resistance. And Ig current through the galvanometer, which gives full scale deflection. Suppose now we want to convert the galvanometer into voltmeter of range V0 to V. So according to Ohm's law, we know V is equal to I upon R. So this formula is applied in this combination. So voltage V, current through this combination I, G, and resistance of this combination capital G plus R. So this expression can be also written capital G plus R is equal to I G divided by V. So what is the value of R? R becomes R equal to I G upon V minus G. So by this formula we can determine the value of R, the value of high resistance which is connected series to the voltmeter. Okay? When the value of R is determined, it is connected in the series to the galvanometer and we get a voltmeter whose range is 0 to V. Dear student, now let us discuss some important questions which are frequently asked in your board exams. So here question number first, what is the function of soft iron core and radial magnetic field? So what is the function of soft iron core? Soft iron core, it is made of soft iron whose permeability is very high. So it increases the strength of magnetic field and also makes magnetic field radial. Consequently, the sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer increase. So it is the function of soft iron core. Now function of radial magnetic field. So you know in radial magnetic field coil always remains parallel to the magnetic field. So theta becomes 90 degree. Therefore torque acting on the coil becomes maximum. This increases sensitivity of magnetic coil galvanometer. Next question is, why the hair like spring and suspension wire made of phosphor bronze in moving coil galvanometer? So phosphor bronze is a alloy which has two properties. Property number first, its tensile strength is high. Means when coil rotate, then suspension wire and hair like spring twist. If tensile strength is low, so the suspension wire and hair like spring breaks. Therefore, hair like spring and suspension wire made of phosphor branch because it has high tensile strength. And property number 2 is its torsion constant is less. Hence its torsion constant is less, then its sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer is increased because sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer IS equal to N A B divided by K. So K is your torsion constant and it is less for phosphor branch. So it increase current sensitivity as well as voltage sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer. So here like spring and suspension wire made of phosphor branch. Question number 3. How the current sensitivity of magnetic coil galvanometer increase? So we know current sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer is given by NAB divided by K. So it can be increased by 4 ways. Number first, by increasing the end number of current in the coil, by increasing the area of the coil, by increasing the strength of magnetic field, and by decreasing the torsion constant. So in this way we can increase the sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer. So this is your question number 3. And next question, what is the role of spring and suspension wire in magnetic moving coil galvanometer? So in construction portion I told you here like spring control the motion of the coil and serve as the current lead. So it is the role of spring. This is the other bunch of important question. Hence question number 1. Why are 4 pieces of magnet moving coil galvanometer made of concave? Moving coil galvanometer के पोल concave क्यों होते हैं? Because it for radial magnetic field, and radial magnetic field exert constant and maximum torque on the galvanometer, which increase its sensitivity. So this is your question first. Second, state the principle of moving coil galvanometer. The working principle of moving coil galvanometer is the when current carrying coil is placed in the magnetic field, then it experiences torque. This torque is directly proportional to current. So this is your principle of moving coil galvanometer. Your third question, the increase the current sensitivity may not need the increased volt sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer. Justify it. The increase the current sensitivity. For this, we know the current sensitivity IS is given by N A B divided by K, and voltage sensitivity is given by N A B divided by K into R. So if we increase the number of turn of the coil, so current sensitivity is increased, but voltage sensitivity does not increase, because if we increase the number of turn, then resistance of the coil is also increased, because resistance of coil is depend on the length of wire. So number of wire increase, length increase, and resistance increase. For example, suppose we increase number of turn 2 times, then current sensitivity also increase 2 times. But voltage sensitivity, number of turn become 2 times and resistance also become 2 times. So factor N by R remain same. Therefore voltage sensitivity does not increase. So we can say the increase the current sensitivity may not meet the increased voltage sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer. And your fourth question, this is your fourth question. Which has more resistance, an ammeter or milliammeter? So when ammeter is made from galvanometer, then we connected a low resistance parallel to it, which is called shunt resistance, and it is given by S is equal to Ig divided by I minus Ig into capital G, where G resistance of galvanometer, Ig current through the galvanometer which shows full scale deflection, and this I is the range of ammeter. So range of milliammeter is low and range of ammeter is high. If range of milliammeter is low, in other words, I range means I for millimeter is low. It is millimeter order, and range for ammeter it is ampere order. So range of millimeter is low. So from this expression, shunt resistance for millimeter is high. Therefore millimeter has high resistance. At last, there are some homework for you student. So question number first for your homework. A galvanometer has a resistance of 12 ohm and shows full scale deflection for a current of 3 milliampere. How will you convert the meter into a ammeter of range 0 to 6 ampere and a voltmeter of range 0 to 18 volt? And your homework number 2, to increase the current sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer by 50%, its resistance is increased so that new resistance becomes twice its initial resistance. By what factor does its voltage sensitivity change? And homework 3 is not present here. Homework 3 is that you solve conceptual question and numerical question of NCERT textbook based on moving coil galvanometer. So these 3 is your homework. And last, thank you student for listening so patiently. Jai Hind.